Michael Jackson, the king of pop, has died.
Who killed him? Was it an overdose?
Many people thought that Michael was murdered. Maybe he committed suicide.
It couldn't have been deliberate, could it?
Who saw him last? What was he doing?
The doctor's been the only one here.
He said that Michael Jackson drifted off.
This is the final curtain call.
The world believed Michael Jackson was gone forever. His death was splashed across headlines, his music forever etched in history. But now, 65 years later, a shocking revelation turns everything upside down. The king of pop is still alive, and he's ready to confess. What really happened behind the scenes, and why did he fake his death? Before we uncover the jaw-dropping truth about Michael Jackson's shocking return, let's take a look at his humble beginnings that set the stage for his rise to the top. The dark origins of a pop icon. From the gritty streets of Gary, Indiana to the brightest lights of the world stage, Michael Jackson's journey is nothing short of legendary. Born on August 29, 1958, Michael was the eighth of 10 children in a home that could barely fit them all. His parents, Joseph and Katherine Jackson, did what they could, but this wasn't a family built on luxury. Joseph, a former boxer turned crane operator, had dreams of stardom that never came to fruition. And when those dreams didn't pan out, he channeled all of that unspent ambition into his kids. The result? A household run with military precision. School during the day, rehearsals after, and performances on weekends. It was a relentless grind, but the Jacksons didn't know anything else. Growing up in such a tough and crowded environment, who would have guessed that one of music's greatest legends was being forged right there?
And he would tear you up if you missed. And so we, not only were we practicing, we were nervous rehearsing.
And Joseph? He ruled the house with an iron fist, a leather belt always within reach. Mistakes weren't just discouraged, they were punished. The kind of punishment Michael would later say left deep emotional scars. But that harsh discipline didn't break Michael. It fueled him. He developed a drive so intense, so focused, that it set him apart from his siblings and eventually propelled him into stardom. On the flip side, Michael's mother, Katherine, was a gentle soul and a devout Jehovah's Witness. She balanced Joseph's strictness with her own love for music, having once dreamed of becoming a country and western performer. Katherine played the clarinet and piano, nurturing her children's artistic talents whenever she could. From a young age, Michael had an obsession with perfection. His eyes were always on his idols, James Brown, Jackie Wilson, but he wasn't just mimicking them, he was studying them, obsessed with being better, with being the best. Those extra hours spent practicing dance moves or perfecting a note. They paid off big time. But let's not sugarcoat it, this wasn't some fairy tale. It was a battle, one fought behind closed doors where fear met ambition, and a father's unfulfilled dreams were passed on to his kids.
And I was so fast, he couldn't catch me half the time, but when he would catch me, oh my God, it was bad. It was really bad.
Michael wanted to please his father, but at what cost? As he grew, so did the pressure. The world saw the glitzy, smooth moves on stage, but behind those moves was a young man trying to escape the emotional weight of his upbringing. By the time Michael was 5, it was clear that he was destined for greatness. His pitch-perfect voice and ability to nail intricate dance moves left everyone in awe, even his equally talented siblings. Katherine would often remember how young Michael would effortlessly sing along to the radio, his movements sharp and precise, almost unnatural for a child so young. Joseph, always watching for any sign of potential, quickly recognized Michael's raw talent. It was no longer just about family performances, this was something bigger. Michael was becoming the star of the show. How did Michael Jackson's early talent pave the way for his legendary career? Winning over Motown and breaking boundaries. Michael Jackson's journey to stardom kicked off in 1964 when, at just 6 years old, he joined his brothers to form the Jackson 5. Right away, his powerful voice and undeniable stage presence made him the standout star of the group. The family began performing at local clubs in Gary, Indiana, slowly building a name for themselves across the Midwest. Their early setlist was packed with Motown hits and soulful R&B songs, with young Michael effortlessly capturing the emotional depth and vocal style of seasoned performers. The turning point for the Jackson 5 came in 1967 when they won an amateur night competition at the legendary Apollo Theater in Harlem. Their performance was so impressive that it caught the eye of Motown founder Berry Gordy.
Of course, he was phenomenal because he could dance like James Brown, he sang like Jackie Wilson, and even though he was maybe 10 years old, he looked like he was 2 years old, and he was singing like he had been around for 30 years because he was singing a love song that Smokey had written, and it was like a song for a man who had lived through love and pain.
In 1968, Gordy saw something special in them, especially in Michael, and signed them to Motown in 1969. The label wasted no time, launching a massive promotional campaign and declaring the Jackson 5 the sound of young America. The Jackson 5's rise at Motown was nothing short of explosive. Their first 4 singles shattered records, each hitting #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. I Want You Back, ABC, The Love You Save, and I'll Be There. This was especially groundbreaking at a time when racial divides still ran deep in the music industry. The Jackson 5 became a bridge, with their music appealing to both black and white audiences, helping to break down barriers during a period of major social upheaval in the U.S. But what really sets them apart? Their ability to break records wasn't just luck. There was a secret weapon that made all the difference. Meanwhile, Michael wasn't just a star in his own band, he was on his way to becoming a solo phenomenon. In 1971, he took his first steps toward a solo career at Motown with the release of Gotta Be There, which hit the top 5. But it was his 1972 ballad Ben, about a rat of all things, that catapulted him to even greater heights. The song not only became his first solo #1 hit, but also earned him a Golden Globe Award. These early solo triumphs were a glimpse of the massive success Michael would go on to achieve as an adult. The family's decision to leave Motown in 1975 marked a pivotal moment. They signed with Epic Records and rebranded as the Jacksons, except for Jermaine, who stayed behind at Motown. This shift gave them more creative control and better royalties. Michael seized this opportunity to hone his songwriting and production skills, significantly shaping the group's albums. The Jacksons saw success with albums like Destiny and Triumph as Michael took a leading role in their creative direction. But what did Michael do next that would forever change the music industry? The game changer for Michael was the 1979 release of Off the Wall. Collaborating with producer Quincy Jones, the album was a masterful blend of pop R&B, disco, and soul. It spawned 4 top 10 singles: Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, his first solo #1 hit as an adult, Rock With You, Off the Wall, and She's Out of My Life. The album's polished production and Michael's evolved artistry set a new bar for popular music, selling over 20 million copies worldwide. However, Thriller, released in 1982, catapulted Jackson from a successful solo artist to a global cultural phenomenon.
And the winner is Michael Jackson.
The album shattered records, becoming the best-selling album of all time with sales exceeding 70 million copies. But the real game changer? The music videos. Billie Jean, Beat It, and the iconic Thriller video redefined what music videos could be, transforming them from simple promotional tools into a true art form. The Thriller video, in particular, is still considered the most influential music video ever. But how did Jackson manage to outdo this monumental success? Following Thriller, Michael released Bad in 1987, facing the nearly impossible task of living up to his previous album. Yet Bad proved to be a massive success, producing 5 #1 singles: I Just Can't Stop Loving You, Bad, The Way You Make Me Feel, Man in the Mirror, and Dirty Diana. The accompanying world tour demonstrated Jackson's unparalleled global appeal and solidified his reign as the king of pop. In 1991, Michael Jackson's Dangerous album hit the shelves, proving he could adapt and thrive in the evolving music scene of the 90s. By blending new jack swing and contemporary R&B with his unique sound, he created hits like Black or White and Remember the Time. These tracks not only topped charts, but also featured groundbreaking music videos that pushed creative boundaries. How did Jackson continue to innovate while staying true to his roots? Then came History, Past, Present, and Future, Book 1 in 1995, a bold double album blending greatest hits with new tracks. The lead single, Scream, a high-energy duet with his sister Janet Jackson, boasted the most expensive music video ever produced at the time. Singles like Earth Song reflected Jackson's growing commitment to addressing social and environmental issues through his music. Jackson's final studio album, Invincible, in 2001, was released under the shadow of personal controversies and disputes with his record label. Despite mixed reviews and a lack of the explosive commercial success of his earlier works, tracks like You Rock My World showcased his lasting musical prowess. This album's struggles reflected more about the shifting landscape of the music industry and Jackson's personal issues rather than a decline in his artistic talent. Michael Jackson's dance moves were legendary, starting with the Jackson 5. He mesmerized audiences, seamlessly blending dance into his performances and music videos. Sanjoy Roy of The Guardian said Jackson could flick and retract his limbs like switchblades, effortlessly snapping from a spin to a toe stand. His signature moonwalk, taught by Jeffrey Daniel and renamed from the backslide, became one of the most iconic moves of the 20th century. Jackson also popularized the robot, the crotch grab, and the gravity-defying lean from Smooth Criminal. But what controversies and challenges did Michael face during this period that added layers of complexity to his stardom? How did these challenges impact the King of Pop's enduring legacy? Shocking transformations and scandals uncovered. Michael Jackson's transformation from his youth into the mid-1980s sparked intense media speculation and controversy. His once medium brown skin gradually became paler, leading to widespread rumors that he was bleaching his skin. However, Jackson's dermatologist, Arnold Klein, revealed that Jackson was diagnosed with vitiligo and lupus. Vitiligo, a condition causing patches of skin to lose their pigment, had a drastic effect on Jackson's appearance and led him to use makeup and possibly skin-bleaching creams to even out his skin tone.
A skin disorder that destroys the pigmentation of the skin is something that I cannot help, okay? But when people make up stories that I don't want to be who I am, it hurts me. It's a problem for me, okay? I can't control it.
This transformation fueled rumors and harsh judgments, but Jackson insisted he had no control over his skin condition, expressing deep hurt over accusations that he didn't want to be who he was. But was that the full truth, or was he hiding something darker?
As you know, I've had no plastic surgery on my face, just my nose. It helped me breathe better so I can hit higher notes and have clearer. The press is like to add on all this stuff. Nothing's been done to my eyes, cheekbones, chins, lips, nothing. They made it all up.
As his skin changed, so did Jackson's face. Rhinoplasty surgeries and rumors of cosmetic procedures swirled, and the whispers grew louder. Was he simply trying to manage his vitiligo, or was he becoming obsessed with altering his identity? In his autobiography in a 1993 interview, Jackson admitted to 2 rhinoplasty surgeries and a cleft chin surgery, but denied further procedures. Some say Jackson's weight loss, reportedly linked to anorexia nervosa, was just as much a symptom of his psychological struggles as his physical transformations. Did Jackson become addicted to plastic surgery? His mother revealed that he had undergone more procedures than he admitted, all in a desperate attempt to fix what vitiligo had taken from him. But the transformation didn't stop there. In 1986, the media ran wild with rumors of Jackson sleeping in a hyperbaric oxygen chamber to slow aging. The bizarre stories didn't end. Jackson took his pet chimpanzee Bubbles on tour in Japan and even tried to buy the bones of Joseph Merrick, the Elephant Man. How far would he go to escape the scrutiny, the pain, and the isolation? The tabloid nickname Wacko Jacko followed him relentlessly. Was this really who he had become, or was the world just too quick to judge? Jackson's relationship with the Jehovah's Witnesses added another layer of intrigue. Despite disassociating from them in 1987, reportedly due to backlash over the Thriller video, he claimed in a 2001 interview that he was still a Jehovah's Witness. Michael Jackson's romantic life was a whirlwind of mystery and controversy that captivated the world. Despite being one of the most famous men on the planet, his relationships were few, bizarrely private, and often the subject of intense public scrutiny. Was his love life a carefully crafted illusion? The questions have haunted him for years. His first highly publicized marriage to Lisa Marie Presley in 1994, daughter of Elvis Presley, seemed like a fairy tale. Two music legends uniting.
He can do it. He's very capable of doing that, and he was very quick to, the first time I met him, sit me down and go, listen, and I'm not gay. I know you think this, I know you think that, and started cursing, started, being a normal person, and I was like, wow. So I get caught up in that. I'm pulled in right away, like, wow, you're so misunderstood. Oh my God, you're this guy. I fell into this whole, you poor, sweet, misunderstood thing, I'm gonna save you, I fell into that. I fell in love with him, I did.
But was it really love, or something more strategic? After all, the marriage followed closely on the heels of the 1993 child molestation allegations, leading many to wonder if this was a PR stunt to repair his tarnished image. Presley denied it, insisting their bond was genuine, but the media never let go of the idea that it was all for show. The marriage ended in 1996, and the speculation only deepened. Soon after, Jackson married Debbie Rowe, a nurse he had known for years. Their marriage, which produced 2 children, was even more unconventional. Rowe claimed she offered to bear Jackson's children as a gift to him. They divorced in 1999, with Rowe giving Jackson full custody. But Jackson wasn't done with fatherhood. In 2002, he became the father of a 3rd child, Prince Michael Jackson II, aka Blanket, through a surrogate. The secrecy surrounding his relationships with women and children left fans and critics alike wondering, was Jackson ever really searching for love, or was he simply trying to create the family he never had? His protective instincts toward his children were unwavering, but what was the real story behind their upbringing, hidden from the world in masks and mystery? Michael Jackson's legacy has always been marked by controversy, but none more haunting than the child molestation accusations that plagued his life. In 1993, the world was rocked when 13-year-old Jordy Chandler accused Jackson of molestation. The allegations came at the height of his fame, and the public couldn't look away.
A 36-year-old man sleeping with a 12-year-old boy, or a series of them. Right. Okay, when you say boys, it's not just boys, and I've never invited just boys to come in my room. Come on, that's ridiculous. And that's a ridiculous question. But since people want to hear it, the answer, I'll be happy to answer it. I have never invited anyone into my bed, ever. Children love me, I love them, they follow me.
Was the King of Pop guilty of the unimaginable, or was he a victim of a malicious smear campaign? The media frenzy exploded, with every detail scrutinized, and Jackson's reputation took a brutal hit. The accusations led to a lengthy investigation, but Jackson denied any wrongdoing, claiming that his relationship with children was purely innocent. In a dramatic twist, the case ended in a financial settlement with the Chandler family in 1994, fueling speculation that Jackson was paying to silence the truth. But no criminal charges were filed, and Jackson continued to deny the allegations. Fast forward to 2003, and the accusations resurfaced with even more intensity. This time, a documentary called Living with Michael Jackson aired, showing the singer holding hands with Gavin Arvizo, a young boy who would later accuse Jackson of molestation. The public outrage was explosive, and Jackson was arrested on charges of child molestation, intoxicating a minor, and conspiracy. The trial, which began in 2005, was a spectacle, with Jackson once again maintaining his innocence. Ultimately, the jury acquitted him of all charges, but the damage to his reputation was done. Jackson's defenders argued that he was the victim of false accusations, while others believed the singer's behavior, particularly his relationships with young boys, was highly suspicious. How did these explosive controversies impact Michael Jackson's public image and influence the conspiracy theories that have followed him even after his death? The King of Pop's shocking return to the spotlight. When Michael Jackson passed away in 2009, the world was stunned. But since then, a wave of conspiracy theories has kept fans wondering, did the King of Pop fake his own death? This theory gained traction almost immediately after his death, fueled by strange clues, sightings, and odd details about the official story. Why would Jackson want to disappear? Some suggest he was overwhelmed by personal and financial struggles. At the time of his death, Jackson was deeply in debt, and some fans believe he staged his death to escape the media circus and financial pressure. The idea gained even more momentum when sightings of Jackson started popping up. Rumors claimed he was seen crossing the Mexico border or even attending random public events. Could Jackson have really staged it all? No one has solid proof, but the claims keep resurfacing. With his daughter Paris hinting that her father may have been murdered, the mystery only deepens. Then there's the strange ambulance video from the day of his death. Conspiracy theorists point to it as evidence that Jackson wasn't in the vehicle. They claim that the person shown in the footage doesn't match Jackson's appearance. Could this be proof of a body double used in the fake transport? And don't forget Paris Jackson's 2016 selfies. Was there someone in the background who looked an awful lot like Michael? Fans thought so, sparking even more rumors that he was still alive. And the plot thickens. Many suggest that Jackson had financial motives for staging his death. He owned valuable music rights, including part of the Beatles' catalog, making him a potential target for powerful figures in the music industry. Another major theory involves Dave, a burn survivor who had a close friendship with Jackson. After Jackson's death, Dave appeared on TV, and theorists speculated that his mannerisms and voice were strikingly similar to Jackson's, suggesting that he might have been an alias for the pop star himself. So what really happened to Michael Jackson? Could the King of Pop still be out there living a quiet life? Or was he silenced by forces beyond our understanding? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more jaw-dropping stories. Stay tuned for the next shocking revelation.